Good morning. Super excited. I am just going to wait for the gorgeous Guinevere to come on with me. Super excited to do my live with her. Hopefully there'll be no technical errors. Guinevere is coming all the way, joining me all the way from Australia. So, hello, darling. Good morning. Thank you for the love heart. Good morning. It's lovely to see people join in at 8 a.m. So recently, myself and Guinevere were featured in, oh, lovely. Okay, she's here. We'll just get her request. Let's see if I can make you join. There we go. Wonderful. I've just clicked join. So let's hope, darling, that you can join with no problem. We'll give it a moment. It's just letting everyone know you're joining all the way from Australia. So it's your evening time and it's our morning here in Ireland. Oh, hello. Good morning, Shannon. Hello. Shannon is the wonderful, gorgeous, phenomenal woman. But she is the reason why we were featured in this magazine. She was the writer of our article, which is The Secret to Decluttering Emotionally. Good morning. Again, another wonderful, incredible woman joining us from all the way from Australia. So definitely check Shannon Rose out at iam.shannonrose, incredible woman. So I've just requested for Guinevere to join me. Oh, no, darling. Not at all. Thank you for a wonderful article. Hello. Good morning. You're loading up my end, so you
I'm setting up my anyway.
Oh, listen, it's nighttime over there.
Yeah, it is night. Yes, it's night. That's a bit better.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for joining. Oh, I love this.
Yay!
Firstly, I love this woman and I love her name. I mean, Guinevere, I love it because you're known as the optimization queen. I mean, firstly, let everyone know who you are and what you're about. Please, darling.
Yeah. What I'm about, it's just actually about becoming, ultimately what I help people do is clear away all the clutter, interestingly, at every level, body, mind, heart, and spirit, so they can actually hear their inner truth and become their more authentic self. So it's the optimization piece is around optimizing every part of our lives so that we can actually be living in our fullest potential. Yeah.
I love it.
So I work at multiple levels. I work at a really foundational level with like really simple body practices like breathing, like foundational breathing, as well as things like, hi Shannon, amazing woman. As well as things like epigenetics. Epigenetics is pretty amazing. It's basically the science of how we interact with the world and how that affects our body, mind, heart, and spirit. And then I work with ancestral epigenetics, so the stuff that we bring in from our ancestors, our experiences in life. So all of these pieces wrap together to create us. And then if we understand ourselves, if we know, like the first rule of spirituality is like know thyself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we understand ourselves, and this is what the epigenetic profiling is really amazing for, it actually can give us information about ourselves really clearly and give us then also tips on how to address how we eat, how we move, how we socialize, how we live, how we need to be in relationship, the kind of space that we need, every part of our lives. So it's really profound and it takes so much guesswork out of it. And when we do that and just understand ourselves at a really fundamental level, then we have the capacity to meet our needs and then go on to meet our desires to become more of become the truth of actually who we are when we remove those cloaks and the layers of stuff.
Wow.
And the confusion, particularly with stuff, simple stuff like what's the right thing for me to eat, or how should I move, or what's the timetable I should keep. Those foundational key things are really vital. And a lot of people are really confused about that. And this cuts a lot of the confusion out. And then we get to the deep, juicy soul work stuff, which is, so that's like multiple layers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love that, because that is the truth. You know, if we take it into the world of food, like you said, you know, you're being so bombarded. Like out there now, we even have fasting, water fasting, juicing, so much. And all of that, again, is an example of how we give our power over to other things outside of ourselves that we believe would know what's right for us. And we don't know how to then tune in with our own body and listen to the wisdom of what the body wants us to do there and then, you know. And I love that's the foundation of your work. That is gorgeous.
And I know what you do. It's like you work at that like next level of like that deeper stuff. But yeah, you're right. It's like so much stuff we can't hear. Like half the time we actually can't tap into that space. There's so much, you know, there's trauma there. There's just basically overriding our own truth, like all the time. And when there's so much clutter and so much noise, particularly when we're being bombarded with stuff, with, you know, social media, like we're constantly on, a nervous system constantly on, and so we can't hear ourselves. So I love working with people at like multi-layers. And I love how you do that too with your, you know, there's a spiritual piece, and then you're bringing in the embodiment piece with like the tantra and the fusion of those parts of ourselves.
Yeah. And I was saying it to the guys at the workshop yesterday, you know, because I had a beautiful workshop with everyone. And I was saying to them, you know, to tap off of what you were just saying, I said to them, you know, look, yes, I have a qualification. Yes, I am a psychotherapist. I'm a tantra teacher. But ultimately what I'm doing in the room is I am allowing myself to be led by intuition, you know, and, you know, I did all of those qualifications so that other people would feel safe in the room with me. Oh, she's an accredited psychotherapist. But in truth, the wisdom of my psychotherapy and the wisdom of Tantra all comes back to the wisdom that I have within myself. I just merge them together, you know. So I've learned to come home and listen to myself and to really attune with my emotional body. And then I work with that in the room. Both of us were featured in a wonderful article there just recently on Total Boss Girl magazine, which is incredible, around the secret for decluttering emotions. And it was beautifully written by the incredible Shannon Rose, who just jumped on and said hi there. Incredible woman. Everyone check her out. Another fabulous feminine leader in the world, guiding us. For you, darling, decluttering emotionally, talk to me a little bit about that. For you, how do you do that? What do you do with others?
You know, I always find life is so beautiful there's so much humor in life, because I'm actually doing a whole lot of emotional decluttering right now. If you go and look at the last few posts on my page, it's like, oh, so tense. But it's so vital. It's so important. I guess for me, the key is, I actually did a TEDx talk on this, of how to thrive in an era of uncertainty. And it's, again, coming back to kind of those some very key foundational pieces. I think working with the nervous system first, and just finding ways to support the nervous system. And for me, just foundational breathing cuts directly and has a physical effect on our nervous system. So just being able to calm our nervous system is like the first point. Whatever that is for you. For some, you know, for me as well, it's often going into the forest or going into somewhere really beautiful, having my feet planted on the ground. But there's something about breathing. It's so simple. It's so accessible. So that's probably one of my first key points. The second one is finding a way to go into your emotions, to move through them, so that they're not, like you said, you know, stuck in our bodies, because they get stuck and they affect us at every level. When we're not moving through them and shifting through them, they get stuck at every level. So I actually use embodied practices like ecstatic dance, or even just going for a run, but intentionally, or going for a walk, but intentionally. This is what I'm going to do this so that I can actually be with my emotions. I'm not going to avoid them. I'm not going to run away from them. So I think sometimes we can use exercise as like an avoidance tactic as well. But to actually feel, it's really important to feel. We're culturally, we're told not to feel. At every layer, we're told not to feel, but we need to feel. And actually, when we learn how to feel, we can realize actually how resilient and how capable we are and how much we can handle. So we're taught to fear feeling, but feeling, it hurts. It can hurt.
Yeah.
But it will also move.
Yeah.
And if we don't feel, then we're going to be dealing with bitterness, resentment, physical problem. Like actually it's going to show up physically in injuries and illnesses and all sorts of stuff. Like we're integrated beings.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the key points that I really love working with. And then obviously connection with people who it's important not to get stuck in like martyr or, cycles of it's important to be with people. I reckon we need people in our lives that can see us where we're at, meet us, like support us where we're at, but also know that we can go to the next level. And so they can then, so we don't get stuck in that space of victimhood.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty key.
I love that, Guinevere. There's so important points there, because you're right. We do live in a culture. Sorry, now my dog and cat are playing chase there now, and they're having great fun. Sorry, everyone. Typical. The important point in that is like we do live in a society where society, it doesn't embrace the power and the wisdom that happens with negative emotions, as they box them as negative emotions, and they show you things to do to avoid having to go in. But when we go in and we connect with the emotion, and we alchemize that, there's so much wisdom in that. The wisdom of that is incredible. And in the work with people, what I know is, and I love it. It's like, we have an unconscious, which is an iceberg. If you think of an iceberg, it's the part of the iceberg that's hidden under the water. And that is running the show. So 95% of what we do in the now is informed by our unconscious. Winfrey and Nala, go in there. I'm trying to regulate my emotions here. Go. We're having a live demonstration of emotions. You hear that? And I love it because they love playing together. They never really do, so I'm laughing at them. The unconscious then is running the show. And for me, the unconscious is all in the body. And being authentic is probably the most fundamental piece of work around that, because we all are living a life where we're terrified to show the truth of who we are, in fear of being rejected, because we have learned to prioritize attachment, relationship connection above or authenticity. In other words, and we learn it from a young age, kids are wonderful at demonstrating it. Oh, you look silly, you're playing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. And, or if you cry at home, what are you crying for? Stop crying. So in order to keep the attachment or the relationship with the person, we will deny our own authentic expression of who we are, because we are told, as you said, emotions are not welcomed. We cannot be ourselves fully. And then that embodies us in a lot of shame, and then we don't know how to regulate ourselves. We don't know how to connect inward with ourselves, because we have been denying the truth of ourselves all along because we fear rejection. So we show up then and we're adults, and how do you feel? I don't know how I feel. I feel so much, but I don't know how to navigate that. It's like being lost inside in this inner abyss. And I love that you talk about breath work, because breath work, think of it, our breath is so important. If we held our breath or we were without breath, oxygen, prana, life force, we die. The breath work is so important for regulating the nervous system, to make us feel safe again in our own physical body. Because that, and I love it now because I've calmed down, they've stopped. I love that. I've just regulated myself here now, and all of the animals are lying on the floor looking at each other. So feeling like we're in a safe body, and we feel safe in our body, we're not in fight-flight mode, is fundamental. That safety of, it's okay to be here with this. This is okay. What's arising is okay, and I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I feel that what you're talking about with the subconscious, I love working with the subconscious as well. And it because it's so ingrained in us. It's pre-childhood. That need to belong is primal. Like if we were in a tribal situation and we got kicked out of the tribe, we die. So programmed into our DNA is a need to belong. Like it is vital. It's hardwired into us to belong. And the piece now is being able to go, okay, that is not totally true. It's not true like it used to be. And so how do we then find our way in what is new now? But knowing that, it is a survival tactic and a survival strategy. It's actually been really, really vital and important. And then when we go to also other, our emotions often aren't welcome around other people because they can't handle their own emotions. And so when we might have big emotions around other people, it triggers their own stuff and their inability to handle the intensity of it. And so they shut it down to actually keep themselves safe and to keep themselves from being so pushed and stretched.
I love that.
Yeah, and so then it is, well, how can I learn how to do this for myself, and who can I connect with that can support me in this and that can hold that space?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are spaces out there that are now can do this really, really well.
Oh.
Yeah, you're one of them.
So not to throw you on the spot, but to throw you on the spot, would you like to do a little practice, whether it's a small little meditation for everyone here in Ireland who's about to start their day, and for everyone in Australia with you who are unwinding for their day? Would you like to do something that kind of connects us in with ourselves, which would be a gorgeous way then to kind of let go of the platform, then people can go about their day then.
Yeah, I love that. Obviously there's you. There's one, okay, I'll give you this one. This is a cool one. It's really fun. You can do it with your kids. You could probably do it with your animals, I'm not sure. You can do it sneakily in the toilet cubicle at work when you're like just really tense and frustrated and you just need to get stuff out.
Wonderful, yeah.
So I'm hoping you're going to be able to see me properly. Yeah, because it's like, and it's just sort of three breaths. So the point is to really get our feet on the ground, connect our feet with the ground, and I'll talk you through it first, and then we'll go through
Wonderful.
it. So getting your feet on the ground, and then we're actually going to imagine that we're breathing through our feet. So imagine that the breath is actually coming up through our feet, but we're breathing through our nose. So foundational breathing always breathes through the nose. This is important. So breathing through the nose, but imagining that it's coming up through our feet. And as we imagine it's coming up through our feet, we're going to tense muscle by muscle or part of our body by part of our body and hold until we get up to the top. So we start with our toes and hold and tense and tense and tense all the way up and holding them all until we get up to the top of our head, and then we just hold as long as we can, and then we can't hold it anymore. Just let it out with a big and shake it all up and lick it and lick your body and shake it all up.
Wonderful.
And then we'll do that 3 times.
Wonderful, I love it.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah. Right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So finding space with your feet on the floor. You can be sitting, you can be standing, you can be lying, but just making sure that your feet are touching the floor. And then making sure that there is space in your diaphragm. So you want space in your belly for your lungs to be able to expand properly. So a nice tall spine. And then just regulating, just breathing normally in and out through your nose. And just softening with that. And then on the next breath in, breathing in through your nose, but imagining that the air is coming in through your feet from the earth. And breathe it in. And as you do, squeezing your toes, squeezing your feet, squeezing your ankles, squeezing your calves, squeezing your shins, squeezing your knees, squeezing your thighs, your hamstrings, your bum, squeezing your belly, your womb, your genitals, squeezing your hips, your lower back, your upper back, squeezing your shoulders, squeezing your chest, your breast, your heart, squeezing your upper arms, lower arms, elbows, wrists, hands, fingers, squeezing your neck, squeezing your nose, your chin, your mouth, your jaw, your eyebrows, your ears, squeezing the top of your head and holding till you can't hold it anymore. And when you're ready to let go, let it go with big take it all out and bounce it off and flick your fingers and stamp your feet and move your neck and your head. And then just re-regulate. That's good, isn't it?
So good. That's just oh, wow.
Yeah. So do you want to do it? Should we go do 2 more times?
Yes.
To just really nail it
I'm
in?
going to stand for it.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Just coming back to breathing in through your nose, space in your belly so your lungs have room to move, feet on the ground. And on the next breath in, breathing in through your nose, but coming up through the earth, into your toes, squeezing your feet, squeezing your heels, your ankles, your shins, squeezing your calves, squeezing your knees, the back of your knees, squeezing your thighs, squeezing your hamstrings, your bum, your belly, your lower belly, lower back, upper back, squeezing your hips, squeezing your shoulders, squeezing your upper arms, elbows, lower arms, fingers, thumbs, fists, hands, squeezing your neck, squeezing your shoulders, squeezing your chin, your jaw, your cheeks, your teeth, your eyes, your eyebrows, squeezing the top of your head and holding as long as you can. All 10. Yeah, and shake it all out. Make a little noise. Flick it off your fingers. Stamp your feet. Maybe even tap your chest. Tap your middle of your chest. That's like clearing your lymphatics, your thymus. Back. Regulating your breath again. And then do one more. When you're ready, space in your diaphragm, feet on the ground. And on the next breath in, breathing up through the earth, squeezing your toes, squeezing your feet, squeezing your ankles, squeezing your shins, your calves, your knees, the back of your knees, your thighs, your hamstrings, squeezing your hips, squeezing your genitals, squeezing your lower belly, squeezing your womb, squeezing your heart, squeezing your upper belly, squeezing your breast, squeezing your heart, squeezing your chest, squeezing your lower back, upper back, your bum, your shoulders, upper arms, lower arms, elbows, wrists, fingers, squeezing your ears, squeezing your teeth, squeezing your jaw, squeezing your nose, your eyes, your eyebrows, squeezing the back of your neck, the top of your head, squeezing it all and holding as long as you can. Letting it go with big. Maybe even brushing your arm, like brush it all off.
Wow.
Brush it off your neck.
Oh, that's so good. I feel so light, energetically. Guys, please. Free Wimpy, darling. Come here. Good girl. Come on. Wow.
I know, it's so simple.
Wow, but so good. I didn't even realize energetically what I was holding. Do you know? I'm up, an hour? I had a shower, potted around, but I had no idea what I woke with, really, in terms of on my body. That's really, really great. Wow. Wow, thank you for that. That's wonderful.
Someone said that third one was so powerful. Yeah, I feel like that you need a couple, and then the third one often is like, oh yeah, that's hitting it.
Yeah.
That's really hitting it.
Yeah, yeah.
Layers of release and activation all at once. Yeah, and I feel like it also gets into, it does get into our lymphatic system. It gets into all of our organs and all of the pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a gorgeous gift to give to Swish, for the start of our day over here. That was wonderful. I loved that. Oh, Guinevere, you're incredible. So look, tell everyone, type in your page there now for people so that they can come find you after the live is over. Because I'll keep this up on Instagram, it'll stay up. Oh, I love that. Look. process and release. I love it. Wonderful. You put it in. Great. Oh, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. I love that we got to connect, and I loved what you shared, and just the importance of decluttering our emotions and why it's vital for our connection in with ourselves more to hear our wisdom and the teachings that we have inside of ourselves. You're an absolute incredible woman. Thank you for all of this.
Totally. You're such a pleasure to hang out with. And I just want to, I feel like that breath as well works in with what you mentioned in the article around emotion, energy, like our emotions are energy in motion. And sometimes we have to move them. They need to move. They need to flow.
Yeah.
And, just little simple techniques like that. And I'm sure you've got a whole range of them as well that just allow that flow to happen. Like we just need to activate that flow.
Yeah, no, it's right, because what we call, and I don't like to label them as negative emotions because to me they're not. They're important. But happiness and joy are very light energetically in the body because they move really fast through the body. Other emotions become stagnant and stuck and dense, and they're the ones that just need that extra support and mind and nurturing. But all emotion, once we relate to it, connect to it and relate to it, it then goes. It's like that ice cube in the hot water. It just melts off of us, and people are afraid of emotions, and I always say the way out is the way in. Feel them, be with them, But
the only way out is through.
Yeah, I love that, from above and beyond. Yeah. So look, it's just important work, and I trust people will have gotten what they needed to hear from this today, because it was beautiful words of wisdom that you shared, and I loved that practice, and I'm going to go back and do that again and again. I'm going to use that in the morning. Actually, it's just after recharging my whole, this fire in my chakras now. It's like, whoa, I feel ready for the day. That's wonderful. I love that. Oh, darling. Thank you again for joining me all the way from Australia, guys. Please check her out. She's brilliant. And check out the article, the magazine that we're in, Total Girl Boss. Our links are on our page, and do have a read of them because it's really worth reading. Thank you again for joining.
Thank you so much.
Have a great,
awesome. Have the best day.
Lots of love, and we will do another live real soon. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Bye.